I'm gonna do an anecdote right here. I want to say shout out to Maul from the Rory and Maul podcast. Shout out to Maul. I heard Akademiks talking bad about Maul and Wayne PA. Who's this calling me, man? Wayne PA. But anyway, Maul was Akademiks was talking shit about Maul because he be hating on Maul. But anyway, I remember when Maul said this. Maul had said one time that he was hanging out with a bitch. He had a bitch on the team, and they went to this restaurant that she didn't know shit about because she don't have paper and shit. You know, he took her to a way out restaurant that she didn't know shit about. Introduce a bitch to some shit. You understand me? And you know, things didn't continue well with them, and they end up going their separate ways and whatnot. So, you know, down the line, probably a few months later, the bitch is out with another nigga, and she have the other nigga take her to the restaurant that Maul took her to. So the bitch called Maul and was like, "Thank you so much for suggesting this restaurant. I'm here with another nigga," right? So Maul did some shit like called a restaurant and was like, made sure he paid for their meal, right? Now, Akademiks heard that shit and was like, "Oh man, that was some sucker shit. That was some sucker shit. You a sucker ass nigga. Let a bitch call you from a restaurant you took her to with another nigga, and you pay for that shit, you sucker ass nigga, sucker, bitch ass nigga." And I was like, yeah, okay, I hear that. But see, Akademiks is a sucker, so it sound like all the way sucker shit to Akademiks, right? But that's because Akademiks is a sucker, though, right? When I heard that, I was like, interesting play. It seems like sucker shit, right? But really, it's a chess move. It's a chess move. It's a chess move, and especially if you got the chicken. If you got the chicken, right? If you got the chicken, if you got the chili, it's a chess move, man. I'll tell you why it's a chess move. Because I was thinking about that. I was like, that was interesting. So Maul pays for their dinner, right? Now, if you a real nigga and you are on that date, if you a real nigga and you on that date with the bitch, and that happens, the waiter comes and says, "Oh, someone paid for your meal. Someone called in and paid for your meal." Veto that. Bitch, veto that. I'm telling the bitch, veto that. Veto that, veto that payment shit. You feel me? I veto that. Call that nigga back and tell him, nah, you straight. You feel me? Call that nigga back and say, we appreciate you paying, but my nigga paid for that. You feel me? Because By letting that go through, I don't give a fuck. That damaged the respect of the nigga on the date. By letting that go, the nigga on the date is actually a sucker. Cause he gonna, in her mind, it's some less respect now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That's just an analysis I wanted to throw out there for anybody who heard that shit right there.